I mean, we have a good live stream that at least goes better than the last one. Hello, everyone. Please let us know. Please let us know if we need to just
give up.
Just take a hammer to this computer and my modem and everything right now, because this is the last chance. If this were Adam Cole, baby, this would be the last shot. But welcome, everyone, to a special live edition, flying by the seat of our pants here, talking about AEW Full Gear 2021. Again, Jay, tell me, how was the show?
Good wrestling. I'm going to tell you that right now. There were some good matches tonight.
Yes.
I actually enjoyed this pay-per-view. And being someone who doesn't watch a lot of AEW, I catch a lot of just little clips of things, or, randomly your review or whatever, what you tell me about,
Mm-hmm.
It was
or what certain podcasters have to say about the product. Am I right?
Well, hey, don't poke the bear now. God damn.
Yeah.
But no, I actually, I enjoyed the pay-per-view. I will say that. I liked it being the casual fan. In fact, I told you while we were watching it, I said, I like that I didn't just jump on the AEW bandwagon off the bat. Of course, I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
But I also jumped, right on it.
Yeah, it's but it's something it's kind of earned your respect over time.
Yes, over time it definitely has.
Yeah, well, definitely. We have a lot to talk about with this show because a lot went down. A lot of hype and hope went into this one, certainly talking about the main event, among other things.
And this is my first live stream on Wrestling with Regret in many years.
Yes, and this is now the first one that actually kind of went off without a hitch,
Exactly.
Review. No, I spelled review wrong. Oh God, it's IO. It's all shut it all down. Tear it all down. Review spelled wrong, Jay. Yes. I will fix it right now.
How bad?
Oh,
how bad of you.
The shame. Thought of changing my name.
Well, that's what you get for typing fast.
I know. I'm in a fast, fiery mode right now, Jay.
Oh, yeah, he is.
Let's start talking about MJF and Darby Allin to kick things off. I dug MJF's pay-per-view attire. You always love to see the wrestlers kind of spend a little extra money for the pay-per-view nights,
Yeah, I kind of liked his robe he came out with. That looked pretty cool. I dug the blue color that he had. It kind of looked almost like Sandow's old gear.
Yeah.
In a weird way. I liked it.
Yeah, it did feel very Sandow, the pastel for sure. I love Jim Ross calling this a match between the two of the four pillows of AEW.
Pillows, that's right.
He was so close.
The softest of the four.
I know. But this is a great match. So great wrestling to start things off. The fans give an ovation, pretty much from the get-go. They were raring for some wrestling action.
Tonight.
Yeah, I love Darby's flying missile attack out of the ring. And then after that stuff happens, you've got MJF working the back pretty extensively. There's this moment where they tease a tombstone off the second rope, and Darby fights out of it with a stunner. This is just classic wrestling.
I loved that counter when it looked like Darby Allin got picked up for a power bomb. He went right into the knee on MJF. That looked great.
That was, for the heel that everyone hates, MJF had some of the coolest moves in this match. Am I wrong?
Yeah. No, he was very Canyon-esque, I guess you could say. I mean, he was like an innovator.
He was definitely the most impressive. Darby sold gangbusters for him, and I think it's give and take, and I think these two complement each other very well here.
Yeah. Sting did accompany him to ringside, but he left.
Yeah. There's some stuff you've got. Well, first of all, can we talk about Darby's big holy shit moment of all the ones he had in this match? The coffin drop off the top rope on the floor.
Oh, dude.
I was like, when he's doing that, MJF better take it for him, because I don't want Darby to take just an unprotected splat onto the floor from the top rope onto nothing, not even a table or another human.
Yeah, that looked so painful either way.
Yeah.
But once they did the replay, you could see that MJF actually took it perfectly.
Yeah.
He took the brunt of the bump. So I'm glad to see that pulled off okay without it looking like Darby's back's going to need surgery.
Yeah, if not now, then soon. Sting beating up Sean Spears, and Wardlow, the accountability buddies.
The accountability buddies.
So he got rid of them. So that was kind of nice, getting rid of the the Pinnacle interference and stuff. And one, I got to tell you, the story they kept telling was the side headlock, Jay. That was a story.
Oh, my gosh, yes, the whole thing.
The whole thing. And
he even made Justin Roberts announce him as the guy who could beat Darby Allin with a side headlock.
Yeah, and they kept going back to it, and I thought it was great stuff. You've got MJF grabbing Darby's skateboard. He wants Darby to hit him with it. And, Darby paying homage to his mentor Sting by being the most gullible, easily distracted dum-dum in the wrestling. Because it's like, yeah, referee, I'm going to watch you. I'm going to watch you put that skateboard away, referee. Yeah,
right.
I'm looking at you. That's the important thing.
Peralta back right where it needs to be.
So
that
the 80s. Turns around and he gets hit with the ring, the side headlock to win. That's the first time.
Oh, my God. MJF's face when he was pinning him was just awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely awesome.
It was, we are going to give star ratings for this because this was meant to be a pre-taped review and I had ideas for graphics and everything, and now it's all out the window. So It's theater of the mind, folks. You just have to visualize the graphics in your head and let your imagination roam free. I'm going to give this a 4.5 star rating, Jay. What about you?
We're going out of 5?
Out of 5.
I'm going to go 4.
Okay. I think, if I went into quarter fraction stars, I'd probably do 4.25, somewhere in the middle, because I think it was an awesome opener. It set the tone for the entire show, really helped prove why these guys are the pillars of AEW. It was great. A tough act to follow. Like, that set the course. Like, every other match had to follow that. It's pretty, just great work by them. And, I hope these guys can pace it out, but keep this magic going for a while. They're still young. They have a lot left to give in that one.
Yeah, they'll definitely be around for a long time, obviously. But it was good to see that. The match in itself, it was, like you said, an awesome opener. The only reason I give it 4 stars instead of 4.5 or 5 even. It was a great match, but I just didn't like the Sting and the Wardlow and them getting involved, that kind of stuff. To me, it's just like, why do you even have it? Just have the match.
Yeah, a small wrinkle, I think. But let's take a break. Before we go to the next match, let's get this word from Ken, terminated by DQ, with a $5 super chat. Very appropriate question since you're here, Jay. This is one of his favorite episodes, is the worst action figures episode we did way back in, I guess, 2013. That was in the garage of your house that you were in at the time.
Yes.
With your action figure arena. So he's asking, have we thought about making a sequel? Do you think there's enough meat on the bone for a sequel for this?
For worst action figures, we could do, it would almost be like something like they do on My Damn Toys or something like that, at this point, because you would just be looking at the worst of what's come out, because there's maybe the worst facials or something, but they're not really making any other weird thing. Other than I've seen what is it, the He-Man or something? Ghostbusters one.
As someone who
doing now.
As someone who didn't grow up who was just before the time of He-Man, or just after the time of He-Man, I should say. It's kind of cool that they're doing this nostalgia. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think that's cool. Would I do an episode? I guess if we could find more figures that we didn't talk about that really totally freaking suck. So I guess.
I think we kind of ran the gamut in that one episode for sure.
Yeah, we did. But I'm still collecting, still got tons of them. Brian can vouch for that. That's not going anywhere. And I have the page just to put a little plug hole on me here. Sorry. Custom Wrestling Action Figures on Facebook. You can look that up.
There you go. Burnsy says, love your channels and podcasts. Thank you, Burnsy. Do check us out this week in Regret every Thursday. Let's move on to AEW tag title match as the Lucha Bros defend against FTR. I loved the chemistry that these two teams had. It was just great, because the two very different styles. Because obviously Lucha Bros very flippy and bouncy and everything like that. FTR with the seamless double team moves and in the corner sneakery that I really appreciate.
Here's something. Honestly, like I said, I don't watch as much AEW as you. I didn't know that they were coming out to the Chase,
or something very much like it.
Something very much like it was like a remix of the Chase. God, I love this team. FTR right now is so much better. Dax, when he first came out and was posing, I was like, man, he just looks almost like a bald Rick Rude.
Kinda, yeah. One moment early in the match, in the first third of the match, that gave me pause was when you got the Lucha brothers getting their double team shit on FTR, and they do the double super kick from side to side, and that's it seems like an easy way to get a concussion if you're Cash and Dax, because their heads go like that, and like right into each other.
Right.
It seems very reckless. I'm like, oh god, I hope they're okay.
Yeah. No. Luckily, I think they escaped that one.
They seem to be okay. Yeah. We get several. I would say, excuse me. It's been a long day, folks. Penta taking a lot of the heat in this matchup here. There's the big hot tag to Phoenix. He's fighting him off 2-on-1. Phoenix is hit with the AAA belt and a brain buster, and there's a kick out. It's like this is the theme of the night, Jay, and almost to a fault during this show is when there's just so much drama and heightened drama from all the kickouts and everything, and all these things where it's it really just kind of pumped it. You couldn't get much more blood from the stone. I think
right all night long.
All night long, it was like that.
Yeah,
it was crazy, and you already start to feel it in match number 2. I will have to say that Dax, with the first of many times you see Eddie Guerrero referenced on this show, because obviously it was in the same city. 16 years ago this weekend, Eddie Guerrero passed away, so there were in the buy-in there was a tribute. In this match there was a tribute. We get it in the semi-main, and we get it in at least a few times in this show.
Right.
And so then you've got this one where you've got Dax trying the Three Amigos, but Penta counters with his own, the frog splash, and there's a kick out, spike pile driver and a kick out. Like I said, there's a lot of big moves here.
It's an awesome tag team contest. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. What about the Phoenix and his Super Mario shit we saw him do, because he jumped off.
Oh yeah.
The package pile driver.
Yes.
Into a crossbody, which is still not the finish. That's still not the finish. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, that was insane. Lots of crazy moves going on and Phoenix always is. Talk about innovative. Tonight I saw a lot of innovative moves, and that's why I kind of like about watching the AEW shows randomly.
Mm-hmm.
Is that I'm not seeing a bunch of repetitive shit all the time. I'm seeing it every once in a while, and they usually pull out all the stops.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it. I really did.
Yeah,
tonight. I enjoyed watching wrestling.
Yeah, sometimes the AEW, it's kind of a point of pride. You can say they don't do a whole lot of rematches like what you see normally on
Raw and SmackDown, which is rematch.
Yeah, and this guy knows it better than anyone, I think. But we get a bit of a Killer Bees homage here that does not go over well.
It doesn't, honestly. And then the finish sucks. They won't even replay it.
The fans don't know what to do with this one, because they see it and where's it going? It backfires anyway, and Cash gets pinned. And I don't think he was a legal man. So
no, he wasn't. So that's what I'm saying. At least it leaves it open for a rematch in the future, I think, is what that's all about.
Yeah, I think that's kind of how they'll justify a rematch down the line. But yeah, the long story short, Lucha Brothers win and retain after thwarting some Killer Bee tactics. I'm going to give this one 4 stars. Jay, what do you think?
The match, 4 stars. Yeah, actually, I think 4 stars is very fair.
All right, tied up for 4. It was brilliant stuff. I think the finish kind of sucked, but everything before that I thought was amazing. Like we said, FTR probably has a case for a rematch down the line.
Mm-hmm.
But it was. I had to say I had no expectations going into this match or any of these matches is not fair to say. I had no doubt that these matches would deliver.
Right.
But it's my expectations are just kind of naturally okay, they're going to be impressive. I think they definitely were here.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Let's see here. We're going to the World Title Eliminator Tournament final match. Miro versus Bryan Danielson. Physical is the word I would use to describe this one. Jay?
Yeah, you could say that. Wow. I really like Miro's gimmick here in AEW. I haven't been watching much, so again, it kind of took me wow, by surprise.
Yeah, so you've not seen too much of his body of work in AEW.
No, I've had my buddy Nico's told me a little bit about it, but I've not been, watching it.
Yeah.
So I'm actually impressed. But I'm kind of in a spot now where I'm well, what do they do with it at this point, right? Is God still forsaking him?
Because he's lost the TNT title now, and he's lost this big pivotal match. I mean, I don't think he's going to be out of the running anytime soon. But
it's is he? How many times is he forsaken before he joins up with Malakai Black and has a cold? I'm
right. I mean, these guys just beat each other up. That was the best way to describe it. It's two guys who just wanted to lay it in there and get some bruises at the end of the day. There were a few times in this show, and this match had one of them, like some scary looking spots where I was going, oh my God, I hope they don't like break their ankle, or oh my God, I hope they didn't break their neck.
Right. Especially the finish.
Yeah, scary looking tornado DDT off the top by Danielson into the submission, and like immediately Miro's choked out or something. It was scary, and that's how
they wouldn't even replay it.
No, you always know it's like there's always a feeling of like, you know, the finish didn't go as planned if they don't show the replay after the match is over.
They went right to the announcers.
They didn't want to show anything like that. So, but yeah, it was like a really technical, brawly match, and it was like this one. I don't think
I was surprised by the winner.
You were, yeah, me too. I think you and I both kind of agree. Like Miro would be in a great position, especially given who won the main event, which we'll get to.
Right.
But you know, I think that'd be a great foil for him, and also just get him over. And I think Danielson wouldn't have been hurt by a loss. So, I mean, it was good. It was a good match either way. I was not mad at the idea of either man winning. But it just seemed like I was kind of caught by surprise that Danielson won this one.
Right.
Yeah, it was a very good match. Go check that out. It's one of the many good ones. I give it 4 stars out of 5. Still kind of like, to me, I think MJF Darby was like so good. Like anything, it's like in its own way with the character and the story they told. Like that was kind of my benchmark for a while in the show. And so everything was just a little bit below. But that was kind of the way I saw that one.
Like, yeah, almost like 3 3/4. But yeah, I'd say 4 was a good grade for that one as well.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Let's go back to a question that we got from the super chat. The nerds ask, what do you think is AEW's version of WrestleMania? And do you think the Casino Battle Royal could be their version of the Royal Rumble? I mean, I think the Casino Battle Royal just kind of is their proprietary Battle Royal match.
If they did the Casino Battle Royal once a year in Las Vegas, specifically only, and made that like their Royal Rumble,
or in a place known for its casinos,
or something. Yeah,
right.
I guess you could
City.
have. Yeah, right. I guess so. Or Tunica, Mississippi.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
somebody will get that.
Yeah.
But anyway, but that being said, yeah, I mean, no, I don't. I mean, I think that could be something that they feature. I don't know if they'll make it as big.
It's still a match type that needs like kinks to be worked out. It's not even a perfect system, honestly. It's got
to have 5 people enter at the same time. It's a little hard to spotlight somebody, in my opinion. That's just especially, because you get a lot of people lost in the shuffle.
Because compared to the Rumble, it's like when someone gets in, usually it's like they get in, they get a run, boom, 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 and then like that's it. Usually,
it seems like the wild card's the only spot where you could put like a surprise entrant. Otherwise, there would be nothing special about their entrance into the Casino Battle Royal.
Right. As far as what I think AEW's version of Mania is, hard to say. I mean, Double or Nothing is the show that kind of started it all, so it's like you could say it's that. Revolution, I think, is the one that's had some more of like the more insane or memorable moments. So maybe that's it. I don't know. What do you think?
What's the one that happens in May that we went to in Vegas?
Double
All
or
Out.
Nothing.
Yeah, Double or Nothing.
Or All Out might be
All
it
Out.
too.
I don't know. All Out was the first one, right? Because it was All In, All Out.
All In begat AEW, and then All Out came after Double or Nothing.
Dear God, it's kind of a tie, I'd say, between Double or Nothing and All Out.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the Falls Count Anywhere matchup where the SuperKliq took on Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus. This match, it
went a little too long, about 5 minutes.
That's
in my opinion.
The one real knock I had on this match is that it goes about 5, I would say almost 10 minutes too long, if I'm being totally honest.
I was trying to be fair.
Let's talk about the Young Bucks and their purple facial hair. And I also love the fact the announcers, have you noticed with the announcers how they go on the Young Bucks are unhinged, the Young Bucks are this and that, and it's all these hyperbolic JR-isms about I can't believe this man kept me from this planet. He's so devious and he's completely unhinged. It's the fashion is what they're commenting, not even the wrestling so much as what they're wearing. These crimes against fashion.
He's got to be crazy. He wears goggles on the side of his head.
That's not right.
That's a long.
That is a deep cut.
That is a very deep cut.
Known to you, me, and 5 people in the audience that night. But you could tell this was a Falls Count Anywhere kind of street fight thing because you've got people wearing denim like Christian and Jungle Boy.
Jungle Boy, yeah, that's
what a heartthrob! My God, like you think like
he looks like his dad doing a photo shoot in the '80s or something for a girls' magazine.
You want to get more women into AEW and sign up for heels, like just buy the bushel, just get more Jungle Boy in jeans, man. I'm telling you.
Well, so there's denim in the jungle.
You're right.
You know,
sometimes
I guess apparently, he had to take out a tourist or something. I'm not
right.
Sure.
Somebody whose boat crashed in the river of the jungle.
I heard
the jungle.
I heard Gilligan's Island theme in the back of my head.
The jungles of Southern California. There's a fun spot with hang on. There's the story here though is the Jungle Jack and his he wants to punish the Bucks for everything that's happened. There's a point where they tease the concerto where Christian wants him to do it, but he's kind of reluctant. And
such a good little guy.
He's just a pure, wholesome boy. And basically it builds up to that. And you've just got a lot of crazy stuff. Like everyone takes a turn holding a trash can to their faces in time for someone to kick the trash can into their face. It was just literally, what's this? Well, it's like, that story, the Anansi story. What a strange looking rock. And that's what makes you fall unconscious. Bam. What a strange looking trash can. Bonk.
Well, it was kind of a strange looking flimsy trash can, but that's on them.
Yeah. So we get chairs, a table is set up, Cole's face is covered in raspberry jam, out of nowhere. What caused Adam Cole to bleed
on
so
the
much?
outside or something, or he bladed himself. Who knows?
Yeah. Jungle Boy with the Hurricane Rana to Adam Cole through a table. Matt Jackson with the top rope elbow to Luchasaurus through another table. You're up in the crowd. You see Christian diving onto Nick Jackson and Nakazawa and Brandon Cutler. We get thumbtacks. This is every wild ass Young Bucks match inevitably leads to thumbtacks.
There was one spot where they put Jungle Boy down and they put thumbtacks into his mouth and they gave him the double super kick too.
Everything. Yeah. It was pretty gross. Out comes a ladder and oh my God, Christian lands a tornado DDT. His legs clip the ladder. I thought we were going to see a man's leg just go Sid style, just break. It almost got caught in there. That looked very close to being a terrible incident. Luchasaurus is slamming fools into the ladder, starts doing the no-sell thing, which I feel like you noticed this before I did. A lot of times where people would just in a lot of matches where it's just I'm done selling now.
Yeah, that's exact. Well, I mean, I don't know. This is what I hear a lot. That's how the style is in AEW, but I don't know. And it seemed like there were a lot of matches where people were like, fuck it, I'm done selling right this second.
And I think there's room for that, and you're right. It is kind of something that's more the style, but I mean, when so many of the matches on this show had that, that needs to be, I think that needs to be communicated more with the producers. You can't have everybody do that spot, because otherwise it just kills it. If everyone has a strong style no sell spot moment, then
there was some sort of a Hulk up he did too, Luchasaurus. It looked like he was hulking up like Hogan, like he was shaking, and there was somebody else he did a Hulk up to right before, just it. I'm like, looks like he's hulking up like so and so. That looks weird. Yeah, we get the finale of this all takes place on the big stage. You had diving off the stage and the truss, Panama Sunrise to Jungle Boy off the truss. Cool.
Cole brings out 3 thumbtack laden knee pads and Joe with a great line. Well, now we know how they spend their free time, as they're giddily putting them on it's a Christmas present or something.
A dollar store super glue and that big 5 with a knee brace.
You have the BTE trigger on Luchasaurus with the thing and a lot of broken up pins. Luchasaurus, a shooting star press off the stage onto the goons. That was great stuff. Christian, he wants to do the concerto. He's like, no, Jungle Boy, it's your time to become a jungle man. And so then he does it, and he just clatters the dude's head. And the good guys win in brutal fashion. It's we've seen a couple of matches in the last year where it's I crushed this man's skull and his brains are leaking out. I'm the good guy.
Right. Well, the way you hold on, just to correct it, the way you just said it, the way what happened actually was that Christian was going to go for the concerto, and Jungle Boy finally said, "You know what? I've had enough." And he comes over to him and says, "No. Give me the chair."
Oh, was that happening?
Yeah, that's how it happened. Yeah, he said, "Give me the chair."
Okay.
And so Christian's like, "Oh, okay." And he gave him the chair, and that's when he delivered the chair. So it was almost that's why I was like, "Oh my God, what a perfect ending to a match!"
Yeah.
The drama and the way it built up and stuff. it just went a little too long. That's all.
Yeah, that honestly, I believe it 4.5 stars, and the reason I dock it is because it went a bit too long, and it was like, if it was like a little bit shorter and they just tightened some of that up a little bit, I think it really could have been match of the night. It was
right.
So, that was.
I'm gonna go with 4.
4 for you. Okay, let's see.
4. I think that's what I've gotten on all of them so far.
Well, at least you're consistent.
I am. Well, just like my Raw and SmackDown reviews, 3 out of 5 stars.
Yeah. Will Meister says Falls Count Anywhere was match of the night. I mean, except for a couple times it felt long with the tooth. I agree. That was probably the wildest match, to be sure. Jordan Flieger says, just want to say what a great and fun pay-per-view. Brian, your channel is how I keep up on the wrestling world, and also your classic pay-per-views are the best. Thank you, Jordan. Nice. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Moving on to a match that I really had no emotional stake in here. Cody Rhodes and Pac taking on Andrade, El Idolo, and Malakai Black. And that rhymed, actually.
It did. Wow.
All right.
He kept it rolling.
It's a continuation of Cody just blurring the lines of like fact and fiction. Because like you had a theory about Cody, right? Before this whole thing about the fact he's like, he's not going for it. Or no, here's the thing. You said, oh, Cody's digging his heels and he's refusing to turn heel. I think it's him like maybe working the marks, brother. It's like he knows that people want him to turn heel and like he's going to give it to them eventually, but when they least expect it.
It's just the stuff he does is so gaudy. It's almost like in your face gaudy, like he's trying to make you hate him, even though he's pushing you down. It's almost like he's making himself like how Roman Reigns was for a few years at first. Like it was just, guess what?
Yeah,
this is who your guy is.
It's like I don't think there's. Personally, I don't see a reason like why people would viscerally or very much say they hate Cody to the point they want to boo him. I think honestly, like the booing with him, kind of like Roman Reigns, has been just like, oh, it's the fun thing to do.
Right.
So even though Cody isn't necessarily always in these like things, it's not like a Super Cena kind of thing necessarily. But it's like I get people are kind of sick of him, but and they got sick of him on this show too because like every time
they were booing him.
Every time he entered the ring, Cody got booed muy vociferously. It's so funny. There was a moment here where Jose, Andrade's assistant, trips up Cody, and literally, you tell me what happened after you saw him trip up Cody.
Oh, the crowd went nuts for him.
Well, no, because you asked him because you never seen Jose before.
Oh, yeah, because I said, does this guy ever take bumps or anything? Because, I mean, what's his point? It seems like he has the easiest gig in wrestling. You know, he just holds some gear and distracts the ref every once in a while. And all of a sudden, boom, he takes a freaking bump.
Within 10 seconds of Jay asking, does this guy take bumps? Like, Cody dives onto him. So that answers the question. Jose earned his PO that night. One thing I got really sick of, especially in this matchup, but we saw it a lot in the previous one, standing around waiting for dives. It's literally it cannot be that hard to just like do some of the boom like that, boom, do something where you're selling or you're staggered or something, and you're just like
you're visibly looking up.
They're like, yep, there he is.
I think I counted to like 4 at one point when they were on the outside waiting on Cody to dive over. What the hell?
Yeah, it was just blatant sometimes. Just don't film the people. Just don't film the people on the ground. If that's like everyone's instinct is to just like brace themselves and not be in the moment to like sell, then don't show those guys. Just show the people jumping off the top and then showing them land. And it's a very simple edit, very simple move, it feels like. So we get that there. And we also get the story of like a lack of chemistry between Pac and Cody, and also kind of a lack of cohesion with Black and Andrade for that matter.
It doesn't seem like as much as Cody and Pac though. And Pac even said before the match, he says, this little relationship or whatever is going to be over come the end of this match. So I would assume that we're going to see those two, even actually Malakai Black and Andrade. Have a match.
Did you notice that Arn got the Glock out again?
I love
because Jose bowed up to him. He's like this, and then I love how Arn. He's got the whole like pulling in. I got my invisible Glock.
So good.
Don't you be carjacking me,
Glock Anderson.
For the love of God, I hope you don't have a pair of scissors.
If they bring Sid in, I swear.
The hot tag to Cody gets even more boos, and here's the problem with like the fact that. The crowd keeps. I'm not saying it's the crowd's fault, but I'm saying the fact that Cody gets booed, it is a distraction because it takes away from the rest of the match.
Right.
Like, I don't care so much then about what Pac or Andrade are doing with each other when the whole thing is like Cody, and it's like all the crowd focus is just on, hey, let's boo Cody, because again, it's the fun thing to do. Or whatever. He's not doing anything that's boo worthy. We just want to do it because that's what everyone else is doing.
Well, I mean, he is kind of he's out there. I mean, look at his gear tonight, right? I even said there's spark. It looks like he's wearing a belt.
Particularly gaudy was this one. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I mean, I get it. He's got the show. He's on a game show. You know, but as the commentary team alluded to, he isn't. You know, like you said, not really doing anything wrong. He's not doing anything that any other wrestlers wouldn't or shouldn't do.
Yeah, I love it. They were kind of like, they're doing a lot of sympathy for Cody on commentary. It's like, come on, it's just laugh, got to think outside of the big picture, got to diversify your income, hey, we can't be trying to.
Rhodes to the top must be on a roll or something.
I was going to say, it's like, they were like literally like two shades away from like fan blaming on that one. Right, how dare you boo these people for trying to make money and not kill themselves? You selfish pricks. You selfish audience members, how dare you?
Watch their show about doing normal, everyday, mundane things that everybody else should fucking do.
Yeah. You've got Malakai pulling Cody into a flying pack. So, can they coexist? But then Cody still breaks up a pin for him. And then he and Black are out of the scene. It's down to Pac and Andrade. Pac with the black arrow for the win. And then he and Cody are briefly jumped by Cash Wheeler until every half second. And then they scamper off.
Right.
I'm kind of torn between like 3 and 3.5 on this one. I'm gonna give 3.5 because I really appreciated the stuff that we saw with like Malakai and Andrade in particular. I think they were great. But yeah, like I said, I think the boos just like I get why people are mad at Cody. I totally get that, but it's just like a matter of circumstance. The booing took away from my paying attention to the match, so it was a detriment in that way.
Right. Well, I think I'm going to go with 3. You're giving it about a half star more than I normally do.
Yeah.
So,
mm-hmm. That's true. I don't know. I was feeling positive up until the technical difficulties of the beginning of this stream and the camera dying. Like I was feeling pretty happy and pretty positive tonight. Right. So I was willing to over
calm this dude down,
to overrate the Willmeister $5. I was watching this match with someone and they said, so Pat takes all the offense and Cody scores the win. Well, no, because Pat got the pinfall. So it wasn't. That's the thing. It's like this is. I think the comparisons between Cody and Triple H I think are a bit overblown because like Cody still lets people win. He lets people beat him, and it's not like once in a blue moon kind of thing. And I think he's made a lot of people in a shorter amount of time. Guys like Darby and MJF, for example.
Right. Yeah, he's put people over. He has definitely not buried anybody or made them.
I mean, there's been some times where it's like, come on, man. Like, you didn't, did you have to get that win?
Come on, man.
Did it have to be so decisive? I get some of that. But I think that, for the most part, I think he's been fine. And I think that he's going to turn heel eventually. It's just a matter of when. And I think when people get bored of booing him, I think is when it'll finally happen.
Right. Yeah, maybe that, I don't know. Maybe they're following that whole Roman Reigns strategy of try to push him like crazy.
Keep doing it until it works.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it doesn't. AEW Women's Championship match. You got Dr. Britt defending against Ty Conti. You got Britt has Rich Ward from Fozzy playing her to the ring. This is, I don't have anything truly impactful or specific to say about this matchup, but I think that it was really well fought.
Yeah.
I think this suffered also from the same kind of thing where everyone gets a million finisher kickouts and like, oh my God, this is like every match a main event, every match a show stealer.
You can't all do that. Anything like any of those matches like Bryan and Miro or that opener between MJF and Darby Allin. Good fucking luck.
Yeah, right.
That's all I gotta say.
I think that it was like, and also it's like it just lends itself to all this stuff like shocked face. Like it gets brought up like with people who talk about NXT.
Mm-hmm.
This is a fairly common thing where it's like so many of these finisher kickouts, and it's like all they know how to do is just go like the shocked look. That's the sell, and it gets a little bit too much, and that was the point where I'm like, I'm getting really fucking sick of this formula for the night. I think there was a lot of good there. I think Ty Conti looked very strong in defeat. She fought out of the lockout so many times, and there was a point in time where I thought she was just going to roll up and pin her that way. She kicked out of like there's two big stomps, one of which on the stairs.
I thought that had to have been it.
Like that, how's it not the fucking finish? You know, that was.
That's when I said, "Is she the Fiend from Hell in a Cell or something?"
that was my moment. That was my moment where for this match, I said, "Come the fuck on!" Like that was
right.
I had that same moment in the tag title match when it was the Super Mario jumping off the pile driver into the crossbody, and it still wasn't the finish. I'm like, what the fuck left is there to do?
Right.
Put on a fucking mask and have that go over like a wet fart.
Right. Like a fart in church.
Ty hits a moonsault off the top onto the goons on the floor. A Ty DDT and a kick out. Again, how the lockjaws roll through a couple of times, and Britt retains with a pinfall.
This is my first time ever seeing Ty Conti, and I was really I really enjoyed her work.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the crowd. I don't think the match was bad. It was just long, and it was just like it was one of those things where kind of like the Young Bucks match, if you cut like a few minutes off that and maybe did a few less shocked faces and kickouts, I think it would have been a much more impactful match.
The crowd at this point was starting to get a little tired. I felt like this was that match where people were like, okay, I can probably go to the bathroom. I don't really know, that much about it or something. I think that a lot of people may have thought of it like this because it felt like the pay-per-view really started to suffer from just feeling long.
It was fatigue. It was the same problem that honestly, the reason I couldn't get into like New Japan when it was at its peak was because I felt like watching a pay-per-view from New Japan was like this, where every match was just like, oh my God, we're beating the fuck out of each other. And it's like
right.
I get tired. I can't watch 4 hours of this. It feels like
this is when hold on. This was the first night I think I even said to you, I said, man, there's no way on earth we could do 2 nights of WrestleMania.
No, not this year.
No, God,
no, and we are going to be in Dallas, by the way. That's it's things are coming together for that, and like I think we might go to like we have tickets for one night of Mania, but like, who knows?
And here's to hoping that Ring of Honor is still rolling and you're involved in the reboot of that.
I would like to.
I got my fingers.
And
crossed.
more on somebody with that in a little bit, y'all.
Oh yeah, y'all,
for sure. So, what rating do you give this women's championship match?
I'm gonna go 3. It was a well fought contest. It was just placed in amongst a bunch of other good stuff, and it was a little bit hard to get
Yeah, and inevitably people get tired, and it's just like people are just gonna like lose interest. And I think some of the crowd lost their gas, lost their steam with that too. I would agree. 3 stars is my opinion as well. Sean Darko, $5. If Cody were doing a Triple H-esque run, then Cody versus Warhorse would have been one-sided when that happened. Yeah, it's true. Warhorse did get a lot of offense on Cody. That is for sure. Did I miss anything here? No. Thank you for that comment.
I've seen just pictures of Warhorse. I haven't seen any of his matches yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, Warhorse, I think, is kind of like in that category of Danhausen, where you don't need to see him wrestle ever. You just need to like follow him on social media, and that's literally that's how he got over. Same exact principle.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a hell of a time to be alive and to be a wrestler for sure.
Right.
Eddie Kingston versus CM Punk.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. I was so happy for this match. I love how both men are all business. Kingston looked like he hasn't slept in a week.
Yes, that's what I said as he came out. I was like, dude, he looks like he's been up ready to fight for like 3 nights.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said. But it's just the realness of this is what intrigued me.
Mm-hmm. Just from the promos and like the build between them and stuff. Punk wearing the Muay Thai shorts tonight. What do you think of that fashion choice? He's been playing with the look a bit since he's come back.
No.
I would say I would rank the Muay Thai shorts below long tights Punk, which we've seen lately in AEW. So not as finest look.
He was coming in for a fight, so I guess maybe having something on like MMA-esque on.
For sure. I love before the bell, Eddie lays Punk out with the spinning back fist before the bell rings. Very split crowd, by the way. Like at first, it's very much 50-50. Let's go Eddie, CM Punk. It's a fight. It's a scrap, we got both these guys chant as well early on. Punk is busted open after he gets thrown into the ring post. He dives onto Eddie from the apron. And then at one point, Punk goes full Cena. He does the shoulder tackles, the protoplex, And
he has the hand up like he's about to.
When he's teasing, you can't see me. The look on his face really tells the story. And the crowd is just like, this is where the crowd turns on him too. It's no longer 50-50 split. The crowd is like, okay, they know what the story is now, because they're really leaning into that whole dynamic of like, 11 years ago or however many, it was like Punk was talking to Cena, and now it's like Kingston is talking to Punk as if he were Cena. So really leaning into that there. Not so much an Easter egg as just like it's the entire basket being shown to you.
Right, exactly. No, I love this match, honestly. And I love JR's, what his saying at the end was like, that was like a 10-minute fist fight or something. It
was a goddamn fist fight, is how he described it.
Yeah.
We get a big superplex. Well, CM Punk has a turn to do the Eddie suplexes as well. It's like the second of 3 or 4 tributes you'll see on the show here. Big superplex, we get a stare down, the chant, the strikes. Eddie mocking the GTS taunt. He does this and does the jerk-off motion. Then he immediately takes the GTS.
Yes, immediately.
They both sell. The fans have turned on Punk in a big way here. Another GTS, the win. Punk puts out his hand, and Kingston walks away.
He's done.
Yeah, that was really interesting. I'm going to give this one 4 stars.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with 4 stars as well.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great match. I think there was just a raw emotion and grittiness and like a realness to it, as real as it can possibly get. There was drama. There was humor. I think like Eddie Kingston and some of his more manic periods in this matchup, like it lent itself to a bit of levity, I think. And it's kind of like, wow, this dude's crazy. Like you can't wait to see what he's capable of doing.
Right, absolutely. No, and with that autobiography thing that he just wrote. And all
the article he talked about on the podcast.
Yeah. I mean, it all tied in together. I want to know what they're going to do with him now, though. I mean, are they going to turn him heel? It looks like he's upset.
You mean Punk or
Kingston? Kingston.
See, I think it's like we're seeing shade.
I don't want to boo the guy.
No, I don't either. And I think that people are going to be already doing this thing. Like, is Punk turning heel? Is he faltering as a face? No, I think like Punk in a match like this, it was one of those kind of shades of gray things where it's like it's really hard to be a clear-cut good or bad guy. But I guess what really comes down to is what Punk next angles are going to be. How many more of them will he be kind of put into the sympathetic role, or how many will he be kind of forced to confront like these skeletons of his past and everything,
right?
Or will it be a situation like it is with Cody, where it's eventually just Cactus all like, "Hey, we should boo Punk now, boo!"
Right.
And if it's
like, what's the cool thing to do here?
Yeah, so I wonder what that's going to be like. There's a lot of potential for either one of those guys, but I think the wheels are in motion for that one for sure. For maybe a heel turn for probably Punk, I would say.
Do you think we're going to see a rematch of those two? Or you think we're going to see Punk go off to somebody else, or what do you think?
I don't know. I mean, if they do a rematch, that I think would be the time you kind of pull the trigger on an official Punk turn.
Right.
Will Meister is back here saying, I knew Punk and Kingston would be a good match. I didn't expect it to be so comical. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was not, you wouldn't call it a comedy match, but there were points in this match that kind of lent itself to just kind of a moment of like, it's like, it's crazy. It's like kind of, you're taken aback, and it's kind of like almost a nervous laughter. It's like a fight scene in an action movie where there's got to be a little bit of humor peppered in there, some comedic timing to kind of like keep the flow going, keep the energy up. So it's not just one dimensional, just beating each other up.
Exactly.
Good. Thank you very much, Will Meister. Parker Soul saying, just got back from the show, exhausted. No breaks at all between matches, even if the live fans. Best show I've been to live. Great work, Bryan, Zane, and Jay. Thank you, Parker.
The pay-per-view felt like that too, almost like, but they gave every match a lot of time. There was nothing that was short. But I did come up with a philosophy at the end. I'm like, well, they could keep this feud going, and just have a quick finish on the final match.
Yeah, we thought about that. Wouldn't it be interesting if they kept like under 5 minutes for the World Championship? They did not. We'll get to that. We discovered that Baron Von Raschke is still alive, which I didn't know that. He's
alive and clawing.
He's sitting in the front row, and he's there to witness the Minnesota Street Fight as the Inner Circle take on American Top Team and Men of the Year. And you know what? Hang on, just 1 second. I've got to hang on. I got to walk this situation off really quick because Jay, you know me.
And I know what's coming.
You know my fashion sense. I'm a proud man, Jay.
I know you are, sir.
I'm a proud man, and I am not going to sit idly by and let some guy, some newcomer to the wrestling biz, try and come in here and take my fucking gimmick.
Right.
You don't think I saw you were ordered from sweatsteater.com? I saw the piping down the store. I don't have a blue one, so I can't really compare, but I got the red one, so I might as well be the polar opposite.
What a dick this Dan Lambert is.
I'm offended. I'm offended by this.
This is, you
know what? The second imitation is the most sincere form of flattery.
It is, absolutely. And, I've said for a long time, I'm very surprised that you haven't been reached out to by them. But you've also been doing your Ring of Honor thing.
Yes, that is very much true. So... yeah, it's, it is what it is. My Twitter blew up. And the funny thing was, we actually were 15 minutes behind because we took a break after the Punk Kingston match because I had to go have a snack or a drink or whatever. And all of a sudden my phone's just blowing up. Oh no, what am I missing? I see this. So it was funny. And I think that I'm glad that that people have been associated me with a sweatsuit and that people were able to point that out. Now, it's bad enough because you know what? I saw Brandon Cutler when he first started doing the red tracksuit and the spray bottle with the cold spray.
Yes.
Come on. Sometimes I don't want to make a big deal of it. I don't want to be one of those bitter indie workers. Oh man, that one thing it's they saw me do something once and now they stole my gimmick all the way from the other side of the country. But it's, it is what it is. It was funny. And that honestly was the highlight of the match for me, was Dan Lambert wearing the sweatsuit. It's a no DQ street fight that begins with traditional tag team rules.
It was a little bit odd. They should have just had a big schmoz at the beginning, just beat the crap out. Everybody starts just brawling.
I think the problem that this match had, we've been talking about this. So many matches on this show went way too long. This match went way too longest.
Yeah.
This should not have gone nearly as long as it did. Here's the thing. Chris Jericho squaring off with Junior Dos Santos, and they're just trading blows. Am I supposed to believe that Chris Jericho can go punch for punch with the UFC's Junior Dos Santos?
Maybe if the dude was down or something, but no, not toe-to-toe.
No.
Not in any way, shape, or form. It was bullshit. But I will say, I was rather impressed by Dos Santos. He was trying to take some bumps and stuff. He took a leap to the outside at one point.
Apparently, he has experience in wrestling, so it's it's not totally out of the ordinary for him. But it's still, I think it's the fighters were exposed, I think, and they had their spots and stuff. It just felt like there's a lot of waiting for the wrestlers to do their thing, and then the MMA guys get a couple of spots in. Lambert gets some shots on Jericho, but he's playing the chicken shit heel manager, gets scared off. Only after that point does the thing finally go into street fight mode with weapons and whatnot. Even Jake Hager hits a big dive off the top to the floor. Dan Lambert at one point an entire. Now, granted, these comfy bad boys from Sweat Steel they feel like a lot of room, but I've never fit an entire pipe in the front of my gimmick.
That was funny when he pulled that.
That was had that been there the entire time? Was he just hiding it really well? It was amazing. Jericho has a water ski. I was trying to listen to Shivani's commentary because they were
they were talking about things that were from Minnesota.
Did you know the bunt cake pan got its origin in
1944? We now know that in Minnesota.
God bless you, Tony Schiavone, for
the toaster. The brave little toaster made an appearance in pro wrestling.
Brave little toaster is all elite. It was. Where's the vacuum? Where's the lamp? Where's
right? There's a closet somewhere at Stadium Stampede waiting.
There was an inner circle sign within the Prince symbol that we barely got to see.
Oh, I love that.
Jericho, the camera, they couldn't get it to line up. You couldn't see the front of it for more than half second, but there was some work put into that. So I have to appreciate that there. The crowd died in this matchup though. Literally, I think the biggest pop they had was for that Prince symbol. And then it was nothing.
That's so crazy.
Nothing they did was going to get them back, it feels. A giant ladder has emerged from out of nowhere. Guevara doing the swanton onto it. Baron Von Raschke puts the claw on Ethan Page. That woke the crowd up for sure. I did not expect that happening for sure.
Honestly, though, the sell how long it took for him to get it on, because originally he went over to who was its wife? There's somebody.
It was
Jack Hager's wife.
Hager's wife. Yeah.
Hager's wife. And he was right next to him, and he looks at him, and Ethan Page stares at him for a second, and then all of a sudden he's like, and it's just the worst. I don't know, but at least he got a spot in. It was kind of cool to have him on the show.
Yeah, exactly. Lambert thinks he's last man standing. He gets beat up by Chris Jericho, and then Jericho goes for the lion salt and screams, "Junior, Junior, 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 Junior!"
Right. Oh my Lord!
I felt so bad.
Botch City.
I felt so bad that Junior Dos Santos missed his cue, and Jericho had to scream because you know what? He could have just been talking trash to his opponents because he calls people Junior. Right. It's like, play that tape in the back, monkeys, junior monkeys in the back. But yeah, that was so funny. I thought he was just talking trash to somebody. Oh no, he just wants Dos Santos to hit him. And then I thought that was going to be the finish, and thank God it wasn't. It was so funny. I felt so bad for them too. So then Lambert goes to the walls of Jericho, takes a bunch of kendo sticks, shot instead, a stapler to the dick. And Eddie,
which would not get through those pants.
Yeah, right. Like the way he hit him, there's no way it would.
It wasn't even one of those like stapler guns. It was like a normal stapler.
It was like an office stapler.
Like,
you know how much work you have to do to like get that to actually like work and hit somebody? Like,
anything,
right?
Even paper.
Jericho with the frog splash in tribute to Eddie Guerrero to win. Of all the Eddie tributes, this is the one that felt like it made the most sense because this is a guy who actually worked with him and was actually friends with him.
Right.
Where the fuck was Junior? God dang.
That's funny.
Oh man. Yeah, I give this one 2 stars out of 5. I hated this match. Like, and I love the Inner Circle. I love Jericho's stuff. This one was just not fun to get through.
Yeah, I guess I'll agree with you. I was about to give it 1, but just because Junior Dos Santos looked pretty impressive to me, and what was the other guy who had most of the wins in UFC history?
Andre Arlovsky was the other guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I'm sorry. I don't follow MMA, so I don't know who these people are. I'm sorry. I'm not going to have any references.
I work in MMA, and I don't even know who most of these dudes are, but I work for King of the Cage. I don't know UFC.
So I mean, only one truly awful spot. Junior. But besides that, it was just, I don't know. It was a match that went too long. I think it just kind of like, it just felt like they could have done this in 5 minutes instead of 10.
Right. Absolutely agree.
Black Mega Man, $2 with Cutler and Lambert's gear. AEW host Bryan. You damn Skippy.
Right, yeah, absolutely. They do.
W. Stein, 79. Great show. Great King Zane and Sir Pigs live show. Thank you, Stein.
Appreciate and that was a Larry Zabisco, actually, what I just did.
And then you get up, and then you do this little action. You just kind of like get up and you address the fans for a few minutes.
Yes.
While Shivani does all the work and the talking and everything. All right, I can get this off now.
Well, yeah. Well, you just turned around, and everybody saw your Royal Highness.
Yeah, right. Boom. All right.
By the way, do you see this shirt? I got this at Target the other day, and it confuses me. Was the Warrior Macho Man working each other at WrestleMania 6? No, it was 7 that they worked each other in the Lose or Lose Town match. Like, what in the world?
Yeah,
it's just such an odd assortment.
That is weird.
I'm not sure. Anyway,
let's see here.
Off the record.
Yeah, right. Here we go. The Willmeister. Never thought I'd see someone get beaten with a Prince symbol. I guess anything really is possible in wrestling. Last year taught us anything is possible in wrestling.
That is true.
For sure. And then let's talk about the big non-wrestling news of this show. Jay Lethal is All Elite, former Ring of Honor World Champion, former Tag Team Champion there as well, former X Division Champion in Impact.
Former Macho Man impersonator.
He announces he came out with like the
Macho Man theme.
I thought it was so interesting. He announces he's All Elite. That didn't take very long. He is now he becomes the first name from ROH who has jumped ship and landed somewhere in the wake of their hiatus.
Well, you said he wasn't at the last tapings, right?
That's correct. So he's definitely not going to be part of this reimagining of ROH, it seems like. And that's a shame. I mean, if I can just speak for a second about Lethal and ROH and the time that I got to know him, he seems like he's just a very smart individual and a great wrestler. And he was really kind of like, a big pillar of ROH and definitely, it was good to get some advice from him. He was very helpful to me doing some backstage interviewing that I did. Like he did some good coaching for that as well. So, I mean, he's a brilliant mind in wrestling and he's a great talent. And so I definitely have all the best, hopes for him and having success in AEW. I mean, he's been in ROH for so long. It's like for a long time, people have been wanting to see what he can do in other companies.
Right.
Now here's a chance. We'll see how he does in this new environment.
I think he's going to thrive, honestly.
Yeah,
but he did come out, just in case people do or don't know. Anyways, he came out and challenged Sammy Guevara for the TNT Championship.
Yes.
Looks like that's going to happen on Dynamite on Wednesday.
Yes, so we're burying the lead there. Yeah, he challenged Guevara to the TNT title, and Guevara accepted. Parker Soul saying, Jericho yelling at Dos Santos for missing his cue was just another Eddie tribute. SummerSlam 05.
Oh, wow.
Where the fuck was Junior? Yeah, oh my God. It's like, it's full. Everything comes full circle.
Isn't that so funny?
I love that.
Wow. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah. All right. It's time now for the main event, AEW World Championship, as Kenneth Omegatron defends against Hangman Adam Page. I love that Hangman got the HBO comedy special intro where it's like the drone shot outside the Target Center. You see him on the horse going down the empty street.
I thought that was really cool looking.
That was pretty cool.
And the Dark Order is running across the catwalk.
That was kind of a nice little nod. You see him like running across that catwalk area going there, and you see the clips of like his past like failures and stuff on the screens and everything. That was really well done. I wish that had gone a little bit longer too. It just felt kind of like an abrupt end after he walks up to the arena. But yeah, that was fun. You've got Don Callis in Kenny Omega's corner for this one, and he's doing some sneaky manager tactics on the outside as the match goes on throughout. There's a great part where Omega teasing a buckshot lariat. He's like, nope, doesn't do it. Just steps through the ropes.
Right. Yeah.
I love that stuff. Speaking of matches that have like a little bit of comedy in them, like where they don't really not supposed to have them, but like Omega's got that skill where he can like be serious, but then also kind of make a face, and it's like he's still a trickster. He still has something up his sleeve and stuff. A nice springboard Liger bomb from this one from Omega. Hangman with a crazy like moonsault fallaway slam off the top, which felt like another one of those like, oh my God, are they dead?
Scary.
Are they dead moments?
Right. There's a lot of scary moments tonight, actually.
I thought there were, but I think the one that resonates with me the most was the Christian getting his leg caught almost caught in the ladder.
Because I said I want to see that again. You're like, I don't want to see that.
I don't want to see it. Once is enough. Referee Paul Turner gets knocked the fuck out by a buckshot lariat, and not too many ref bumps in AEW. I think that's really kind of cool. They've kind of kept that relatively calm, and like to WWE's credit, they don't do it that much either anymore. There was a period of time where ref bumps were pretty commonplace.
Yes,
but I'm glad that we have all kind of agreed as a society that it's not like it's kind of passe to do that now.
Right.
So it's a very much like in case of emergency, bust out this gimmick, and so I'm glad they've really both companies
saved it.
Have used it, very sparingly. Exactly. Yeah. Paige beats up Don Callis, hits the dead eye onto Omega. Aubrey Edwards sprints down, makes the count very close to.
Gotta be Aubrey.
Yeah, right. You gotta have the dramatic 2 count. Paige remaining defiant as Kenny lays it in. They're trading strikes. The Young Bucks show up at ringside, and they're looking kind of beaten and sad and morose and everything. The buckshot is caught into a V-trigger. One-Winged Angel is countered into one by Hangman, and we get a 2 count.
Impressive, actually. He hit that one hard on
Kenny Omega. And I think a lot of people kind of predicted that Hangman would kick out of the One-Winged Angel in this match. He did not. He didn't even take the move. So it's interesting to see. There's still a possibility of that maybe in the future. But you've got this moment here where the Bucks give Hangman kind of like a knowing nod, like a pass, as Jericho.
They did.
The buckshot lariat.
Mr. Miyagi, Go ahead, kid. Wink.
The win. And Hangman by God Page wins the AEW championship, and a really cool moment. And you know what?
Cowboy shit, man.
Cowboy shit. And you know what? It was one of the most predictable kind of things you could ever ask for at a show like this. People have been calling it forever. Even though everyone and their mother knew that was going to happen, the crowd still reacted like it was the most amazing thing.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and somebody points out that the graphics, the lower third for his entrance said, "We're proud of you, graphics team." Like that's full circle because they've all been taking funny jokes on Hangman's lower thirds.
Oh, have they?
For the last like year and a half,
oh,
and
shit.
like
See, I don't know, I don't watch.
Yeah, it's such a good payoff, and you've got Dark Order showing up to celebrate with them. It was great stuff, and I'm trying to think of like, I guess I would give it 4.5 stars is my rating for it. I think it was.
I'm probably gonna have to go with you on that one. Yeah, that was a damn good match, and I've been on the fence about Kenny Omega quite a bit, but a match like this will win me over.
Yeah, no, I think this was definitely a great match by both guys, and yeah, I think it hit all the points. It told a great story. It was just really as satisfying, and like I said, it can be
good night of wrestling.
It can be predictable as long as the journey is good and exciting. I think we got that for sure.
Well, I mean, this was very impromptu. What we're doing here, obviously, we thought we were going to record, as usual, but then our equipment failed, and now we've had to go live, and it's taken a lot longer and a lot later than we both thought we were going to be here. So.
Yeah, but for sure. So Ken terminated by DQ. Says, are you happy and you prefer a homegrown talent like Paige winning the big one or someone like Danielson? Obviously, I think the big payoff here is Hangman being the champion. It's been a 2-year journey. Like he called his shot in that very first press conference, and that's been kind of the journey we've been trying to follow along ever since. So
if they were going to pull the trigger, it had to be this pay-per-view, I felt.
Yeah, exactly. And so it was a really great story and a really great payoff to this. Like, hopefully the journey of Hangman as champion will be somewhere near as good as the journey of him chasing it.
Right.
That's always kind of the hope with any
That's left in the booking of Tony Khan.
Yeah. So it
looks like him and Danielson, right, are going to be coming up.
We're going to have him and Danielson coming up. Exactly. Trakes also bringing up the "We're proud of you" graphic on the lower third. What happens to the Omega Danielson feud? It resumes at some point.
They're going to have another match.
Oh, sure. They're going to have one with a finish of some kind. So let's see here. Let's talk about grades. Let's do an overall grade for this show. What grade would you give Full Gear? A?
Just an A, not A+.
Yeah. I'm going to give it an A as well. I was going to give it an A-, but I'm going to put it in the A category as well. I'm going to say A down the middle. I think that, like you said, throughout this review, it's been a great night of wrestling. Just a lot of fun stuff. It did get a little overboard at times. You know what? For that, I'm going to give it an A-. That's my new thing. My new grade is A- because there were
I'm still sticking with my Canadian grade.
Yes, there were some times where I felt a little burned out, a little exhausted, but I think the way the show ended, having Hangman coming out on top at the end, was a great way to cap off the show on a show that began with an amazing match with MJF and Darby, and really just kind of kept going from there with very few exceptions. And again, having the right outcome at the end, I think makes this a great show for AEW this year.
I always say wrestling shows are like a pie, man. There's that top layer of crust, there's all the filling in between, then there's that bottom layer of crust, and it's like the opener, that main event, all that good filling. It was a nice piece of pie.
Exactly. Citizen Strife, $10 super chat. Cody and QT Marshall came to GNC while I was working. They were nice and gave me lower level seats to Full Gear. I was treated to an amazing show, great main event. I'm grateful to be a new AEW fan. Well, that's cool. Very cool.
I'm glad to see the Nightmare Factory is back on the same page.
Yes. Come on, kayfabe, guys. Funeral.
Jesus Christ.
Dale Larson, I'm glad it was a clean finish and no interference. They gave Paige his moment. Yes. I think anything other than a clean, just straight up victory for Paige would have been met with a lot of scrutiny. I'm really hoping that the fans just don't immediately do what they do and start shitting all over the guy they want to win once they've won. Because for some reason or another, whether it's just because the fans want to be contrarian or maybe the wrestler loses out on the things that made them cool in some way. But that does seem to happen a lot. And so hopefully we won't see that with everything we've done to wait for Paige's moment now.
Where do you think this is going to land the Good Brothers?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying.
Of all the people in the elite, they're the ones I care the least about.
Well, most people. I guess what I'm saying though is it seems like because the SuperKliq, right?
Mm-hmm.
It seems like tonight that was kind of a face thing that both the what's her names did.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, it's that time, man. Hey, believe me, man, I want to get home to my lady.
Yeah, I feel you, man. So yeah, let us know what grade you think the show was. So I'm seeing some B's. I see an A-. More
Almost
B's.
saw some killer B's tonight too.
Yeah, we do. We saw some of the killer B's for sure. Let's see here. Yeah, that was I had a really fun time watching the show. I really didn't disappoint. I'm tired. I wish that not every pay-per-view went 4 hours. I was happy with 3, honestly. You didn't have to go so hard, is what I'm saying, AEW. A-, A+, B, A-, A-. So yeah, it's kind of in that range for sure. So thank you guys very much for your input. Thank you very much for your super chats. This has been a lot of fun, and
let's do some more live videos, man. This is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very much. We didn't expect to do this,
right?
But it's working out okay, and I hope that y'all enjoyed it once we got past our technical problems, and now we'll know in the future how to avoid that shit. So it always comes down to the microphones. Do you notice that? I think that's what it really was.
Hey, man, working in the radio industry, if there's something's going to fuck up, it's the microphone.
Right. One more super chat, and then we're going to wrap this up from Master Max 888. Do you believe Wyndham / Bray Wyatt will still debut for AEW sometime in the future?
Well, if you listen to This Week in Regret podcast, you might hear what we were talking about, how he's going to make the debut on the big screen coming up too soon. So he might actually be on the big screen before he's in a ring.
Yeah, I think that Bray has got potential to do well in AEW. I think he can kind of go wherever he wants, whether it's wrestling or otherwise. I'm confident he'll appear at some point, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. I think it'll be a good while. I wouldn't be surprised if we waited another year.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's going to be that long.
And maybe him, Braun Strowman, and Eric Redbeard come in together.
That's Eric Rowan. It's Eric Redbeard, because that's Eric Rowan from WWE. He was Brody Lee's partner. That was his name.
Yeah, right. Yeah, JR.
Thanks, Jericho.
Jeez. Dear God.
Junior. It's Eric Jr. Thank you so much, folks, for
on that note,
being part of this stream. It's been a lot of fun. For Jay Biggs, I'm Brian Zane. Let's hold this pose, Jay. We'll see you next time.